everybody, this is Emily Metcalf with Bell Library, and today we're going to talk about how to get an item, like an article or a book, that the library doesn't have access to. To start, we'll go to the library's homepage at library.tamucc.edu. From here, we'll just enter our search terms into the quick search box and hit search. Right now, all we're seeing are things that you can get from the library. If we want to expand our search to things the library doesn't have, we'll click this checkbox next to Add Results from Other Libraries. From here, I will scroll until I see an item that I'm interested in, and I can check the availability with this line under the title. Notice how some results say Available Online or Full Text Online. That's telling you that you can access that item right now if you want to. But result number 11 says Citation Online, which means that all I can access is the citation or the publication information about the item. I can't get to the item itself. So when I click on that item, it takes me to the library record, which again gives me some publication information, but it doesn't give me access to the item itself. If you've already checked other sources like Google Scholar or the library catalog to see if you can find the item there, and you're sure you can't find it anywhere else, then it's time to click the Request via Interlibrary Loan button. Interlibrary Loan is also known as ILL, and it's a service that lets libraries borrow materials from other libraries. So if we don't have what you need, we can call other libraries across the country and even around the world to see if any of them have what you're looking for. From here, we need to log into ILL2, which is just the program that we use to process ILL requests. To do this, you will use your Island ID and your password. Since this is our first request, we'll need to fill out some information. Once we've filled everything out, we can scroll on down and submit information. And that creates our ILL account. At this point, we want to start our request. We have two options on how to do this. First, we could go under the New Request menu and click Article/Book Chapter. And that brings us to the request page where we would need to fill out all of this information. Our other option is to go back to the record where we found our article. Since we're already logged into ILL, we can go ahead and click this button, and we can see that it has already filled out the information for us, which is a lot easier. From here, all we have to do is submit the request and wait for the email notifying us when our item has come in. Sometimes when we're looking for materials, we find things that look a little bit different. For example, when I click on item number 15, it doesn't take us to the library catalog page, it takes us here. Under viewability, we can see that we're only allowed to search through the book. We can't read the entire thing. So in a case like this, when we want to get the whole book, we need to locate a print version of the book. So we will click Find in a Library, and we will click Get Full Text at TAMUCC. And that brings us to this familiar page. From here, all we have to do is request via Interlibrary Loan, and since I'm still logged in, it has all of the information laid out for me in the form. And from here, we just click Submit Request and wait for the email notifying you when your item is available. If you request a hard copy of the book, like we just did, then you will need to come into Bell Library to pick that up. If, however, it's an electronic copy, you can download that by following the instructions in the email. For distance learners who request print materials, we can scan the materials you request and email them to you, though certain restrictions do apply. We can also send you any books you've requested via FedEx. If you have any questions, remember that at any time you can go to guides.library.tamucc.edu/ILL for more information, or you can go to tamucc.libanswers.com and get in touch with a librarian. Thanks for watching.